Here we presents the top 5 best laptop. Starting of our listed number 5. Acer Predator Tridon 500. Not everyone needs the thinnest or the most powerful gaming laptop. Sometimes still thin and still powerful is just fine. Striking a healthy balance between portability, performance, and price is the Acer Predator Tridon 500, a Max-Q notebook that emerged from somewhere to impress our dedicated team of hardware testers at the top-secret PC Gamer Lab. Wielding an RTX 2080, the model we reviewed is priced somewhere in the middle. However, you can find an RTX 2060 version mark. Either way, it's well worth your while, seeing as it can push Metro Exodus at the highest settings, with ray tracing on, at an average pace of 56 FPS. And while it's doing so, you get to experience the luxury of its deeply satisfying 1.7mm keyboard travel and a Microsoft Precision touchpad that we surprisingly don't hate. For more information and price, check out the product links and description underneath the video. Coming in at number 4 of our list, MSI GS65 Stealth 006156. The GS65 Stealth Thin is the best gaming laptop we tested in 2018. It's a fantastic all-rounder that still packs a punch in terms of specs and design. It has the versatility of a notebook and, because it's light and sturdy, it's incredibly easy to just pop into your bag and carry around all day for whatever you need to use it for. It has a sleek matte black aluminum body with gold accents that feels sturdy and looks, and thankfully lacking in obnoxious gamer aesthetics. Best of all, in addition to a slim, 18mm thickness, the screen's 4.9mm thin bezels allow for an overall chassis size that's about an inch smaller than most 15-inch laptops, while still packing the same screen real estate. While it won't do ray tracing, the spec here is enough to handle most modern games in 2019. However, the MSI GS65 Stealth Thin models are in something of a transition right now. It's tough to track down the 1070 build, which is probably the best, unless you want a mind-boggling 32GB of RAM and a 1TB SSD. You can still get the 1060 model, with a 16GB RAM spec and 256GB SSD, which shaves a massive amount off the price, but cuts performance a little. You can also buy the newer 2070 models, but they're super expensive too, and didn't impress as much during testing. There are other nice details on the GS65, which still makes it a great laptop: a keyboard from SteelSeries that's solid and responsive, a responsive touchpad, and a webcam that's placed at the top of the screen, thankfully avoiding the abysmally unflattering nose cam found on most thin-bezeled laptops like the Dell XPS 13. Halfway of our listed number 3. Acer Predator Helios 300. We loved Acer's Predator Helios 300 during the 10 series era, at just over $1,000, sometimes less if you could find it on sale. It offered a GTX 1066GB graphics card that could lock down 60 FPS at near max settings in most games from the last few years. Now the newer model Helios is back with a GTX 1660Ti GPU in a sleeker form factor for basically the same price. The new and improved Helios 300 has a 144Hz IPS screen as well as smaller bezels, putting it more in line with sleek thin and lights than its more bulky brethren of the previous generation. RAM speed has been bumped up to 2666 MHz as well, which is a nice improvement. The only real drawback here is the diminutive. Number 2 of this list. Razer Blade 15 Gaming Laptop. Not much has changed since the advent of the original Razer Blade 15 in spring 2018. The refreshed, so-called advanced model is outfitted with the same CNC milled aluminum chassis as its predecessor, only this time it holds the latest graphics chips from NVIDIA, namely the RTX family of Turing architecture-based GPUs. Among its configurations are an RTX 2080 model, capable of running the ray-traced Metro Exodus at over 50 FPS with all the visual settings cranked to the top. In our testing, despite its power-hungry guts, it wowed us with an unusual 5 hours and 1 minute battery life. So while it's no longer the thinnest or the lightest in its class, it is the longest-lasting premium gaming laptops we've seen to date. It's also one of the more expensive. You could argue that's because the Razer Blade 15 aims to replace not only your desktop but your existing laptop, too. After all, its touchpad is the closest thing to a MacBook trackpad you will find on a Windows notebook. That includes non-gaming laptops like the Dell XPS 13, which is met with staggering acclaim each time it's repackaged and re-released. In just about every way, the Razer Blade 15 feels like a dream. Chalk it up to the engineering talent. Razer now makes the best gaming laptop on the market. Whether others will follow suit, taking inspiration from the well-rounded machine, remains to be seen. Also bad for its competitors is the fact that the Razer Blade 15 is available in an abundance of different flavors, most of which actually makes a lot of sense. If you want a 4K OLED screen, it's exclusive to an RTX 2080 configuration, perhaps the only Max-Q graphics card that could hope to drive 4K graphics. And coming in at number 1 of our list, Dell XPS 13 9380. The Dell XPS is currently our pick for the best laptop, but we're eagerly waiting for the latest model with Intel's 10th gen processor, which promises better performance and longer battery life. Stay tuned for the review. However, the combination of a 4K display and a power-hungry CPU puts the battery life at just under 8 hours, which can be a detriment to mobile professionals. If you need more endurance, we recommend the 1080p model, which endured for more than 12 hours on our battery test, and if you want a convertible laptop, consider the upcoming XPS 13 2-in-1, which is the best 2-in-1 laptop around. Regarding design and performance, the XPS 13 remains among the best in its class. We reviewed both the 1080p and 4K versions of the XPS 13. The base model XPS 13 I reviewed was released in January 2019 for $899. It packs an Intel Core i3 CPU, 4GB of RAM, a 128GB SSD, an Intel UHD 620 graphics GPU and a 1920x1080 non-touch display. Rose gold? That's so last year 2019 is officially the year of Frost Silver and Arctic White. Dell decided to shake things up with a new color scheme that's just as alluring as the previous model, if not more so. The anodized aluminum has a light gray finish that stops just short of pearlescence, looking as radiant as morning frost just before it gives way to the rising sun. The Dell logo sits triumphant in the center of the lid as the lone adornment. For more information and price, check out the product links and description underneath the video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel, share this video and hit the like button.